Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the dude Manny McCounter Duncan, and today, since Thanksgiving is coming up, we will talk about an action movie that takes place around Thanksgiving. It is called Unknown, starring Liam Neeson. It also stars Diane Kruger, January Jones, Frank Langella, Bruno Ganz, and Aidan Quinn. It's directed by Wam Colette Serra, who most recently directed Jungle Cruise, and he's going to direct the upcoming movie with The Rock called Black Adam. And this was his first collaboration with Liam Neeson. They went on to work together again on Run All Night, Nonstop, and The Commuter. So this was their first collaboration. I think it's their best one too. So anyway, Liam Neeson plays a botanist named Dr. Martin Harris, and he's flying into Berlin with his wife Liz, played by January Jones. And they're flying into Berlin. They seem like a happy couple. And he's going to go to a conference to meet a prominent professor. And they land, and they get in Berlin. It's snowing, and it's cold, and they kind of get caught up trying to get to their hotel. And Martin Harris leaves his briefcase, a very important briefcase. And when they get to the hotel, he realizes it didn't come with the cab. He texts his wife and bolts, and he just texts her real quick and be like, look, I got to go get this briefcase. And he gets into a cab, and the cab is driven by a woman named Gina, played by Diane Kruger. And, there's a traffic jam, and he's like, can you work around this? And she does, but then they end up in a bad car accident. And he bumps his head very hard, and they end up in a river. And she gets out and saves his life, but then flees the scene. And it's later explained why she didn't hang around. And he wakes up in the hospital, and he's been out of it for 4 days. And all he knows is he's married, and he's Dr. Martin Harris. So he goes back. He finds out the hotel where he stayed, and he tries to go find his wife. And he goes to security, and he's like, look, my wife's right there. She's got to be worried about me. I was scheduled to meet with a Professor Bressler at this conference. I see him. I see my wife. Please let me go talk to them, and they can vouch for me. So he goes and approaches his wife, and she kind of backs away from him. And he's like, Liz, what are you doing? I was in a bad accident. I'm okay. I think I'll be okay. But, she's like, I don't know who you are. And Aidan Quinn's character comes in. He's like, I'm Dr. Martin Harris. And he's like, what? This isn't funny. I'm Dr. Martin Harris. And the security, the original Martin Harris was like, arrest him. And they're like, for what? He has all the credentials, and his wife is vouching for him. So, obviously, he is who he says he is, and you have nothing. So, security escorts him out, and he's trying to contact an American embassy, but they're all closed because it's Thanksgiving. So, he calls his professor, who's played by Frank Langella, and he's obviously hard to get a hold of. And so he's like, he'll vouch for me. And, it starts to unravel, but he wants to find Gina again and thank him for saving his life. And he has no money and no real ID. And, he just doesn't know what is going on. He thinks he's beginning to question his own sanity. Now, the plot twist comes out is when he kind of faints from all this overwhelming stuff, that's happened to him. He gets to the hospital again, and the nurse gives him a card, like, I know a guy, he's an ex-spy, but he investigates odd occurrences and things that are a little off the beaten path. It seems like this would be up his alley. So she gives him a card, and he's like, oh, why not? But he begins to just think, something's just really wrong with me. But then some assassins try to come kill him. He's like, okay, what is going on here? I gotta be who I say I am if they're trying to kill me because they want to shut me up for whatever reason. And he finds Gina again, and, to thank her, and he finds out why she kind of ran away from the scene and why she's reluctant to help him. But, he needs somebody's help, and he has an expensive watch, and he's like, look, you can have it. This will get you somebody who will compensate you for your trouble. But then, she gets wrapped up in this crazy story too. And, so now she's in it with him, she's stuck in here with him, and she really doesn't want to be, but she helps him because she kind of learns to care for him a little bit. But it's kind of interesting dynamic with those two. And Diane Kruger does this role really well. I think it's her best one. Now, the thing is, I won't talk too much more about it because it has such an awesome reveal about it, but there's a mystery like, why are people after him? A harmless botanist, but what is really going on? And as he gets help from, the ex-German spy, he begins to uncover more, like, why would somebody go to this much trouble to try to be me? And it all ties together very neatly, but when you stay with it, and there's some cool action set pieces and stuff, but it serves the story. It's not just thrown in there. And towards the end, it has a great climax and what's really going on and all this, and why someone would want to go to this much trouble to become a botanist. It all comes together very beautifully. It kind of has a Hitchcock feel to it, but it also kind of has a action movie feel to it, because Liam Neeson, this was I think his follow up from Taken, where he became the unexpected action guy. This was kind of in that vein. It's not quite. Taken was pure action. This has a little more mystery feel, but it's really cool, and everything plays out really well, and it captures you. And since it takes place around Thanksgiving, I thought I'd bring it up. Anyway, let me know in the comments, are there some other Liam Neeson action movies you like? Have you seen this one? Let me know any of that in the comments. And thanks so much for tuning in. Also, if you like older movies or ones that fell under the radar, give Video Mania 2 a shot. Like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And also, have a great Thanksgiving, because there's still a lot to be thankful for. So, thanks everybody for their time, and I'll see you next time.